Thanks for tuning in to Off the Wall. I'm your host, Joshua Wall, and today on the show we have Tom Mercante from Murkasa, Little Italy Eatery. Tom, thanks for coming on the show.
What's up, Josh? Thanks for having me, buddy.
So, first things first, who's Tom?
Tom, that's me, man. Tom,
Fantastic. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
born and raised in beautiful Brantford. Husband, father of two beautiful boys. Went to St. John's College, ended up teaching at St. John's College. So I was in culinary education for 22 years. I was a teacher, first elementary school, then secondary school. I taught for a couple of the colleges as well. Then, when I was a kid, I always worked alongside my mom in our restaurant that we own downtown Brantford. So culinary, the food, hospitality business has kind of always been in the blood. In 2015, that's when you and I first met. I got a good shot of us later. I'll share with you from back in the day at Rossini Lodge. I started a catering company. And from the catering company, it was well received in Brantford. I decided to open up this place here, which is a fast casual Italian restaurant.
So we're going to talk about the restaurant in the next section. I want to talk a little bit more about you. So you were a teacher.
Yeah. So I did. I went to university. I went to University of Brock and I had a degree in French and Italian. Then I went back and did my Bachelor of Education. Did a graduate program in Quebec with French. Then I also traveled to Italy for a year where I studied Italian, and I also did culinary studies there. But yeah, I taught for 22 years. I just resigned this spring from teaching.
So teachers are some of the most amazing humans on the planet, passing on what they know and helping create the next generation. So, I mean, every teacher I've ever talked to has these proud student moments. Share with me and our viewers some of your proud teacher moments.
Oh, I've got lots of them. I was fortunate in that, what I did with the culinary, I had the opportunity to travel with the kids. So I took some kids to New York City a few times for little culinary tours, which was cool. I trained a student for a skills competition, and it was called Skills Canada. It still goes on. And we achieved gold at the provincial level, and then he represented Canada, and he won a silver medal, which is pretty cool. I pride myself on that. Some of my staff are ex-students still to today. A couple of my core staff have been with me from when they were 15, 16 years old in culinary, went on to, post-secondary education, got a little experience, and they're still with me to this day, which is proud. I'm proud of that.
That's absolutely incredible. And I was going to ask you if you had any of your students working for you.
I've got a few of them. It's cool.
That's just got to be such a great feeling.
It is. It definitely is.
So tell me about why. Why do you cook food?
I love it, buddy. Like I said, it's in the blood. I mean, since I was a young kid, I was always with my mom in the kitchen. We traveled to Italy a lot, so I have half of my family is in Italy. And, apart from this year, we go back every summer. We have a home there. So my family, both here and in Italy, are not only cook all the time because we're Italian, but we're also in the restaurant hospitality business. So I was always in the kitchen with either my aunts, my nonna, my mom. So it was just something that I gravitated to and still have a huge passion for. So, that's why I kind of moved even in education into culinary, because I was passionate about that. And I still believe, I tell everybody, you have to do what you're passionate about. You have to love every single day what you're doing. You have to have a purpose, and you have to really do it with passion. And I still, to this day, do it every single day and love getting up and coming up with new recipes and just being in the kitchen.
All right. So you love food so much.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food would be, if I had to pick one thing, it would be pizza for sure. I could do pizza breakfast, good pizza. I could do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Second to pizza, my test for every restaurant when we travel is always a risotto, rice dish, right? If I can order risotto and it's fantastic, I know that the chef in the restaurant know exactly what they're doing. It's not the easiest of dishes, not complicated, but it takes time and it takes passion. So that's always my test for a restaurant when I travel.
So Speaking of restaurants,
Yeah.
let's talk about yours. Murkasa Little Italy Eatery up
Yeah.
on Henry Street. How could you miss it? You're driving down Wayne Gretzky, you got your great big sign, and pre-COVID times, you always had a lineup of people just in and out of that place. Congratulations, by the way. Everybody everywhere talks about how incredible your food is, how great your staff is. I see all your stuff on social media, and it's incredible. But I want to know everything. How'd you get started? What do you guys do there? And how are you doing things differently?
How much time you got?
Oh, we got all day.
All right. So how did I get started? Well, I always said I didn't want to get into the restaurant biz.
I remember you saying that when you were doing the catering. So I was surprised.
Yeah, so I wanted to do it my way. I wanted to do it with, kind of my take on a restaurant. In this, the concept that we adopted here is Italian fast casual. So in Italy, this is a very, very popular concept, and that is that you can go into a place, it's home cooking, it's authentic, it's real, it's not fast food, yet it's quick. So it's quick service. So the idea here is that you come in and we have the chefs who are preparing, for example, we have a hot table area where we're preparing daily pastas, we have different panini, we have different entrees, but they're always prepared fresh throughout the day. And when you come, you can kind of build your own lunch. You can build your own plate, as you will. Moving along, I also didn't want to do just kind of, not, for lack of better terms, traditional North American pizza that everybody's doing. So we did the Roman pizza, which is authentic to where I'm from in Italy. And the Roman pizza is a completely different process. It's a 72-hour natural fermentation dough. A lot of research and a lot of training goes into preparing that product. Time-wise, quality of ingredient-wise, it's all much more elevated. So I wanted to introduce that to Brantford. So we have a unique pizza product as well. Then we have this dining room here. So you can come in, post-COVID or pre-COVID, you could come in and you could still sit and enjoy your lunch in a beautiful dining area rather than having to go eat in your car or take it back to work. And then of course we started with the catering. So we do a lot of catering, whether it's small for offices to, larger events like weddings and corporate functions. But I mean, the idea was to do something different, still within the realm of a restaurant, but I wanted to make it very authentic. I didn't want to do what everybody else was doing. And to this day, I don't think there's anybody doing the fast casual Italian. I don't know anywhere within quite a bit of driving distance. So, I'm proud of that. It's been really well received in Brantford. I think people who know, and they're loyal customers for life. The bread, which I didn't touch on yet, is another very important part. So the bread, we make we make two types of bread every day. We make an authentic ciabatta, which is an ancient recipe that, from Rome that's been handed down to us. And we make a focaccia. And again, those are doughs that are prepared 3 days in advance. They're all, done by hand every day. There's no machines, there's no freezing anything. There's no preservatives or additives in our breads. And then, every meal comes with one of those breads because everybody seems to enjoy those.
So, I enjoy your food. I enjoy your food so much. What would you say is your most popular menu item?
Okay, so there's the pizza is the pizza for sure. People rave about the pizza, and I think the pizza is probably the star of the restaurant. The second, if I had to look at the hot foods or the items that people are ordering, the chicken parmigiana is a very, very popular one. To me, it's a very simple recipe, yet it's super, super popular. In the way we prepare it, I think is probably what makes that dish awesome. And that's, we take a chicken breast, we cut it in half, we pound it out, we dredge it with the breadcrumbs that we make from our day-old bread. So everything's done, kind of in-house from scratch. We lightly fry them, and then they're oven baked. And of course, we use high quality mozzarella and, the tomato basil sauce. So that's a really, really popular one, I find for our restaurant.
I absolutely should have had lunch before we recorded this episode because I'm so hungry. It's funny, you mentioned, so the pizza's popular, of course. The chicken parmesan, obviously popular. I've never had either of those items from your restaurant, so I now absolutely know what I must have next time. I'm surprised you didn't mention the sandwiches.
So
Your sandwiches
yeah,
are so good, and it's probably because of the bread and the fresh ingredients. You said earlier that you didn't have any intention of opening up a restaurant.
yeah.
And then you did open up a restaurant. And, being one to make a statement, your restaurant is enormous. How many square feet you got there?
3,000.
3,000 square feet. It's a statement piece there on Henry Street. And how many people do you employ?
We've got 16. Thankfully,
Wow.
we're able to still employ them through all this craziness. They're still all with me. Yeah.
Amazing. And you're open every day?
We're closed Sunday. Sunday's family day. So
Awesome.
unless there's a special event of some sort, Sundays we turn it down, turn it off and spend time with the family, man. It's super important. Top of my priority list. So we don't screw around with Sundays.
Tell me about that.
So family's always been big to me. Being Italian, being European, I think, the sense of family is kind of embedded in us from a really young age. I'm really close with my family in Italy as well, like I said earlier. So, I like to spend the time with my wife, my kids, my friends, and, which are part of my extended family. So, I don't know. It's always been something since we were young. We always got together and celebrated all the occasions together. As we get older, unfortunately, everyone gets busy. Our lives get busy, so you don't see your, extended family as much. But to me, there's a reason why family is like 10 feet large outside on my sign. It's an arbitrary word I chose out there. It's very important to me. And my staff here is an extension of my family. There's a lot of love here. We're like one big family, and it's important for me personally to spend the time with my family. And I think, I instill that in them, that they should be spending the time with their families and have a little downtime and enjoy life, right?
You're a good man, Tom.
Thanks, Benny.
So let's dive into this episode's theme.
Yeah.
And the theme we chose was quality control, quality assurance. And I thought, who better to ask? One, specifically, you're in the restaurant industry, and it's paramount that everything that gets shipped out the door is just top quality. But I thought that there would be some elements there that anybody who's in any sort of business could take and they could learn and they could use, because what you're putting out there is a reflection of who you are as a company, who you are as a brand. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing to ensure that everything you do is just the best it can be.
It has to be number one priority. You can't, for us, it was always to put out the absolute best quality product, but also the experience has to be there as well. The revenue will come, and the loyal customers will come if those two elements are intact and in sync. So for us, it starts with, Josh, the quality of the product coming into the restaurant. We have a very small freezer. We don't bring in frozen stuff and reheat it and do that, have that kind of a format here. So we have to prepare everything from scratch. Well, that takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of passion. If the chefs don't enjoy what they're doing, they're not going to want to come in every day and make that dough every single day exactly as per the recipe so that the end product is perfect. They're not going to make that pizza with love so that when you get it and you enjoy it with your friends and family, you're going to be sitting back, big smile on your face. So the quality of the product coming in, every single step in the preparation along the way, and then that final step when the customer comes in and we present it to him or her with a smile to make sure that their experience is perfect. To follow up, how did you like it? What can we do to improve? All of those things make a wow experience for your guests. I mean, not just in culinary, in any industry, right? So did I hit it for you there?
Absolutely. I still have follow-up questions. So I know you, and anybody who knows you knows that quality control and that experience that you just talked about and
Yeah.
everything you've talked about with family. That's why it's important to you to ensure that everything that you touch, but you're only human. You can't be at the restaurant all day, every day. You can't check every meal yourself. So how do you ensure that your staff are doing and, working at a level that you want?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's one of the issues with when somebody tries to an owner tries to step back, or if it gets too big or too busy. Um, I talked to a lot of people in the industry about this kind of stuff. For us, it's having the right personnel in charge that share my values and have the same pride that I do in the success of Murkasa and the Murkasa brand. So, are there hiccups? Absolutely. Are there busy times when something may slip through the cracks and it's not a perfect experience? Absolutely. Is it devastating for me? Every single time. If it's not 10 out of 10, it's not acceptable to me. The staff here knows that. They've known that since day one. The customers have come to expect a perfect experience every single time. So it's the staff, it's the whole team that's going to ensure you know that that happens. When I mean, unfortunately I am here. You say you can't be here all the time. I'm here almost all the time. But you're right. When you step back, you have to have others in place that share the same values, right?
I thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, it's invaluable, and what you're saying is just. I think it's something that everybody needs to hear because, again, I said it earlier. What you put out there is a reflection of your brand, of your company, of your business, and it's amazing. So, at this part of the episode,
Yeah.
I like to give people like you an opportunity to give a shout out to a local community organization or a nonprofit or an initiative and how you're involved and an opportunity to kind of talk about them.
So, I mean, the one that we work with closely is Why Not City Youth, and this goes back to my days in education. So I was around a lot of students all the time, so you get to see their socioeconomic situations. There's kids coming from all kinds of different walks of life. Some of them don't have all of the opportunities. Some are dealt horrible hands in life. So for me, it was always important. And we're fortunate. I have a beautiful family. We have, I'm blessed in my life. So for those who need something, I always felt that it was important for us to help those in need, whether it was short term and some, need help much longer. But the youth in our community was always one that was dear to me. And again, probably because of my background in education or being around the kids all the time. I remember you and I worked, you helped me out with Charity of Hope years ago. I was the chair for the Brantford chapter of the Charity of Hope. So my family, the Mercantes in Hamilton, started this years ago. And, we raised hundreds of thousands of dollars in our community, again, for at-risk youth. So the youth is one that we still help. Why not? So what we did actually for the month of January, every family meal that our customers ordered from us, we donated one meal to this organization. So every Tuesday they come in and we prepare hot, delicious meals for their community, and they get to share that. Sometimes we do it twice a week if we can. During that crazy first lockdown, we also did, we kind of did a little bit more. We brought Nav, the super fan from the Raptors, down with his food truck. We donated to the police department, hundreds of meals to the hospital. We hit Why Not Youth. We also helped Nova Vita a lot. The women's shelter in town, that's one that's dear to us, and we work very closely. So we try to do that twice a month, provide meals for the entire families that happen to be, in need and staying at that residence.
Thank you for everything you and your brand and your company and your family is doing to help the different organizations locally here in our community. The reason I wanted this to be a part of the show was that you can't get to where you are without giving back. And it has to be a pillar of every good business that you do what you can to support those around you. And it was amazing that, I asked you to talk about one and you couldn't help but talk about all the different things that you and your brand are doing. And that's amazing. Keep it up, man.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
So at this point, we get to the part where anybody who's watching has now said, how come I haven't been there? Or I got to order now. So if somebody wants to know everything about you, what you're doing, your brand, your company, where do they go? What's your website? What's your Twitter? What's your Instagram?
Sure. So the website is Murkasa, MERCASA.ca. And on there, you can see all of our menus. You can read about our story, and you can also order. There'll be a tab there to order online. We also have our own app, so you can download a free app. Just search whether it's Google Play or iTunes for Murkasa, and you can order directly on there. And then as far as keeping up to date with what's going on, our daily features, what we're doing in the community, we have both Facebook, which is Murkasa Eatery. We have Instagram, which is Murkasa_Inc. We're on Twitter. So, and, we try to keep up on those daily, sometimes a couple times a day, just to, keep everybody, up to date, involved.
Oh, yeah, conveniently posting around noon too with a picture of your beautiful food.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I want to say thank you for coming on the show, for sharing your story. You are an amazing man. You're doing amazing things. You've got a great company. I'm starving, so I'm going to wrap this up. Tom, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, man. It's my pleasure. It's an honor to be on your show, buddy. And I want to say thank you to you, because I really appreciate everything you do for our community too, man. You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
I appreciate that so much. So we've got great guests lined up every week for this whole year. So my name is Joshua Wall. Thanks for tuning in to Off the Wall, and we'll see you next week.